Good, happy Friday morning and happy TGIF, everyone. I'm Riley King and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, extreme drought declare for part of New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Is there any way I can get an oil change today?
Without an appointment? Try in like 2 weeks.
There has to be an easier way.
Come to Auto Fair Honda, home of the $17.95 oil change.
I don't have an appointment today. Is there any way I can get an oil change?
Of course. We'll have you out of here in 39 minutes or less. Works free.
Servicing your vehicle is fast and easy at Auto Fair Honda. Call or book your appointment online at autofairhonda.com.
Auto Fair makes it happen.
We're struggling every day.
Pete Gagnon tends to his flowers and vegetables every day and has been since 1970. And for the first time in all those years,
It's the worst I've seen yet. It's a struggle. There's no question about it.
his business, Willow Pond Nursery in Merrimack, is usually teeming with more than double the plants he has now. But now Governor Maggie Hassan is asking for help from the federal government in the form of a disaster declaration. A local team is now trying to find a solution for the extreme drought that's taking its toll on farmers, residents, and local growers like Gagnon.
For water for animals, if you're having wells going dry or something like that, where you could get a well or have water hauled in, would be part of those emergency funds.
And many towns are taking the brunt of it. People are being asked to chip in. In Merrimack, concerns over the town's water supply are forcing the Water Commission to ask people to drastically cut back. It's the same story in more than 100 communities in the Granite State, including Portsmouth.
The extended nature of this drought is what is really affecting us and a lot of the other communities on the seacoast.
The drought is hitting hardest in the southern part of the state. Last week, the governor asked for assistance for Rockingham, Stratford, and Grafton counties, and she's now added Hillsborough and Merrimack counties to the request. As for Gagnon, he's lucky he has private wells and a pond as sources of irrigation. Without that, he says he'd be out of business.
We take it one day at a time, and it certainly has an effect on our ability to do business.
And now New Hampshire should find out within the next week or so whether the federal government will be chipping in. Live in Manchester tonight, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Police interview of key witness to child's death played in court. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Is there any way I can get an oil change today?
Without an appointment? Try in like 2 weeks.
There has to be an easier way.
Come to Auto Fair Honda, home of the $17.95 oil change.
I don't have an appointment today. Is there any way I can get an oil change?
Of course. We'll have you out of here in 39 minutes or less. Works free.
Servicing your vehicle is fast and easy at Auto Fair Honda. Call or book your appointment online at autofairhonda.com.
Auto Fair makes it happen.
Michael Rivera was interviewed by police for several hours after Brielle Gage was found beaten to death in her Nashua apartment on November 25, 2014. Rivera told police he saw the 3-year-old girl's mother, Caitlin Marin, throw the child across the room, something he demonstrated with a teddy bear.
Show me exactly the force that you said. You said she basically threw her to the ground. Show me exactly the way to do it. As hard, as fast, everything that you saw.
Marin is on trial for second-degree murder and manslaughter. Prosecutors say Rivera, Marin's ex-fiancé, witnessed the 2 beatings she inflicted on the youngster because she wet herself and went searching for some food.
What sound did it make when Maria hit the roof? Do me here on the table. Give me like as loud as you heard it.
Rivera initially told police that Gage fell down the stairs, but police weren't buying that story. Marin's defense lawyers say Rivera told lie after lie, and nothing he says is believable.
You sit there and you appear to be affected, but yet you can't even sit here and tell me the emotions you're going through. All you can tell me is, oh, it's obviously Caitlin. Now that just, put yourself in my shoes, that just feels a little strange to me.
Michael Rivera was excused as a witness today after just a few questions. Testimony in this case will resume on Monday morning. Reporting live in Nashua, I'm Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. In visit to New Hampshire, Pence says Trump will win in November. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Today?
Without an appointment, try like 2 weeks.
There has to be an easier way.
Come to Auto Fair Honda, home of the $17.95 oil change.
I don't have an appointment today. Is there any way I can get an oil change?
Of course. We'll have you out of here in 39 minutes or less. Works free.
Servicing your vehicle is fast and easy at Auto Fair Honda. Call or book your appointment online at autofairhonda.com.
Auto Fair makes it happen.
At the town hall in Manchester, Republican vice presidential candidate Mike Pence fielded a question from a woman worried about voter fraud. The Indiana governor said his state went all the way to the Supreme Court to fight in favor of voter ID laws.
You need a picture ID to cash a check at the grocery store. You ought to. There's nothing wrong with asking people to have a picture ID to exercise their blood-bought franchise of voting for this country and practicing a democracy.
Pence opened his remarks at the executive court banquet facility, citing his running mate Donald Trump's recent speech in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, an appearance that came on the heels of racial violence in the Midwestern city following the fatal shooting of an armed African-American man by police. Pence called Trump's speech historic.
He called for law and order to be restored, and I promise you the day Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, we are going to fight to restore law and order in every city and every community in America.
This is Pence's first campaign stop in New Hampshire since signing on to be Donald Trump's running mate. And his visit comes as polls show Trump decisively trailing Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire, considered a battleground state in this presidential election. Pence put a lot of the blame squarely on the media, particularly talking heads at the national level.
I mean, just about every day the national media latches onto some issue about my running mate. It really does. I mean, the media is so busy parsing every word that Donald Trump said in the last 30 minutes, they don't have time to cover what the Clintons have been up to for the last 30 years.
Now, during his appearance today, Pence also showed a video of New Hampshire Governor and Senate candidate Maggie Hassan. In it, Hassan appears to skirt a question about Hillary Clinton's trustworthiness. Pence used the video to make a pitch for Republican Senate candidate Kelly Ayotte. And before this afternoon's town hall, Governor Mike Pence had a one-on-one interview with our Josh McAlvin. You can watch that interview on Close Up this Sunday.
Okay, and there you go on that report. USOC apologizes for distracting ordeal from U.S. swimmers who claimed robbery. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Usually when we discuss video from the Olympics, it has to do with a controversial play or a moment of athletic glory. But tonight, the video everybody is watching is from a gas station in Rio. It shows portions of the alleged robbery of U.S. Olympic gold medalist Ryan Lochte and some of his teammates. But does this video contradict their stories? Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
It's the robbery that police say never took place, and it's now at the heart of what is becoming an international incident. This video obtained by ABC News shows Ryan Lochte, one of the winningest Olympians in history, and 3 other swimmers going into this gas station bathroom in the early hours of Sunday morning. Lochte had been partying with friends, Snapchatting this video of himself at this club, packed with 2,500 people. Lochte and his younger teammates, Gunnar Bentz, Jack Conger, and James Fegan, say that they got into a taxi then to go home to the Olympic Village. That's when the story gets fuzzy. Lochte initially told NBC that armed men had pulled them over.
The guy pulled out his gun, he cocked it, put it to my forehead, he said, get down, and I was like, I put my hands up, I was like, whatever.
His account was seen as a vicious black eye to the host city that had already been plagued with other negative stories.
There are big concerns now about safety.
We turn to Rio tonight and the major health concern there on the eve of the Summer Olympics.
Concerns grow over the water quality there and whether it could put athletes' health at risk.
To have one of the Olympics' greatest swimmers of all time claim to have been held up at gunpoint crushes the spirit and hopes that Rio will come out of it a better light.
But then, as Brazilian police began to investigate, Lochte appeared to change his story, telling NBC in another interview that the taxi had not been pulled over, but rather had gone to the gas station to use the bathroom.
One thing he did not say this time, he didn't say he was pulled over by these people pretending to be police.
Almost immediately, some questioned the story.
What up, what up?
Lochte has a reputation as a playboy.
I like to have fun.
Ladies?
I mean, I'm not married to anyone. I'm not dating anyone.
One who dates a playmate.
Let's turn it on!
And has often been seen partying on his e-reality shows. And now Brazilian police are recommending that he and James Fegan be indicted for providing false testimony to police, insisting Lochte and the others were never victims of an armed robbery.
Da forma relatada pelos atletas.
At this exact moment, what the police can confirm is that there was no robbery in the way that it was reported by the athletes.
Claiming that the now international flap was kicked off when some of the men kicked in the door of the gas station bathroom. But ironically, both sides claim the security video supports their very contradictory claims. It's 6:08 a.m. Here's Lochte and his group exiting the gas station, heading towards the cab. And then someone comes up to the driver's seat window. Is that a gun in his hand? Then the video skips ahead 3 minutes. And the swimmers get out of the car. You can see one of the athletes taking what seems to be his wallet out and offering money. Then, in this angle, we see 3 of the athletes getting down on the ground, putting their hands in the air.
Now we learn that at least significant portions of what Lochte said was true.
Okay, and there you have it on that report. Very interesting as well. Let us know what you think about this story. Donald Trump appeals to black voters. What do you have to lose by trying something new? Donald Trump made his second appeal this week to African Americans to vote for him in November's general election. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday. See you back here later on. Goodbye, everyone.